Hello and welcome to the Wellness Tap. Today I am offering a Reiki distance session for people who are requiring some nurturance at the moment. I have a Facebook group called the Women's Energy Room, which you may have come to this link from. And the card this morning and the feeling that I had as I was getting ready to read for people this morning was that there is a need for a healing energy, a motherly energy to be received. And I wanted to offer that to people who want some kind of structure around that. So if you're joining me here for Reiki today, welcome, thank you. This time, this space, this energy is for you. If you haven't received Reiki before, all that is required of you is the intention to receive it. And if you sit with this video for the duration, then you will receive that energy. There's nothing required of you. You may want to take a deep breath in and out before we begin. You may want to make sure that you're in a space that is nurturing and supportive and where you won't be interrupted. I'm going to offer Reiki for 10 minutes because I think there's a limit on the video times that I can download on YouTube. So you can begin by getting into a comfortable position, closing your eyes and simply receiving this Reiki energy. You may experience sensations as this energy is transmitted to you. Everybody experiences this differently, so there may be a feeling of warmth. There may be emotions that come up. You can simply observe them with a gentle and loving mind. And if you want to get in contact with me after the session and discuss anything that has been part of your experience during the session, please don't hesitate to do so. But for now, let's begin. I am going to use a stone which I use in my healing and Reiki, which is not necessarily a part of traditional Reiki, but this is a prophecy stone which has recently come into my possession, and working with this has been phenomenal. I can share a story on that later. But anyway, for now, take a moment to close your eyes, check in with your breathing, and it's time for you now to receive the energy of Reiki. So let's begin. I will guide you as to when you can open your eyes if you have your eyes closed. But for now, I am asking for that healing energy of spirit to come through and offer you healing in any way that you need it. And I'm going to probably have my eyes closed for this as well, so let's begin. And if you've had your eyes closed, you might want to gently start opening your eyes, maybe wriggling your fingers and your toes, taking in a nice deep breath as you return to a state of awareness. Thank you so much for allowing me to do Reiki for you. I very deeply sensed today that there was a need for this, and it is my greatest pleasure to offer this for you. I'm going to add on to this video, so stay tuned for a recap of what just occurred during the Reiki. I want to go through that with you so that you can feel the experience from this end, because I feel like there is some information in there that might be useful for some of you, so thank you. Part of the Reiki practice that I practice, and is not the case for everybody, is to receive messages via my receiving hand. So you might have noticed when I was doing the Reiki, my body moves. I'm tuning in. I'm tuning into a healing energy for the person who is receiving the Reiki. Now in this case it is a collective, it is anybody who has found their way to this channel, to this moment, to this healing. So the message may or may not resonate with you individually, it may resonate with you down the track, but I did receive some sense during this session that there was an element of perhaps for some people uncertainty around survival. So that relates to our root chakra. That is where the element sits for our basic needs to be met, and this may be where the feeling came in that there needs to be that mothering energy that came through with the Reiki. So a way of making sure that our basic needs are met are to do grounding exercises. So for some of you it may be useful to look up grounding exercises. If you already know what some grounding exercises are, to practice those grounding exercises. There are some visualizations that you can do. In meditation, for example, it is sitting down and visualizing tree roots moving through you as the tree, anchoring down into the ground. You can use the visualization of an anchor, whatever makes you feel stable and secure at your core, whatever practice this is for you. Even grounding by putting your feet on Mother Earth outside, going and connecting with nature itself. Eating can make us feel grounded, but the overall feeling that I had as I was offering that healing energy was that there is a need for some grounding for some of you. So you can look up grounding techniques if you like. I think I've got a little bit on my channel here somewhere if you wanted to take a look at that. I'll try and link that video in. Otherwise, I hope that this Reiki session was of benefit to you in some way. Thank you so much for allowing me to do this for you. If it's something you're interested in more of, then I can incorporate it as a regular feature in the channel. And of course, you can contact me for a private Reiki session, which we can do online, or you can come into my studio room if that's something that's available for you. Enough of that. Enjoy the peaceful energy that I hope this has brought to you, and be in touch if there's anything that you wish to discuss further. Thank you so much, and until next time, it's cheerio for now. Some background information for you if you are interested in how this prophecy stone came into my hands is that I recently went to Sydney with my fiance David, and David has had some pretty intense issues around his knee, which he would not mind me sharing. This is common knowledge. And whilst we were in Sydney for a few days, it became excruciating for him. As a part of that trip, we stumbled across a crystal store, which we both just enjoy crystals for their aesthetics as much as anything else. And we had a chat with the person behind the counter who was very knowledgeable, and I was very, very drawn to this stone, which is not perhaps one might consider a pretty stone. Can I hold it up against maybe the white background? I don't know. Because it's quite dark, but it just fascinated me and I was drawn to it, and I brought it back to the place we were staying in our accommodation, and I had it on the bedside table. I offered David some Reiki for his knee because it was so inflamed that I also do massage, but massaging it was going to inflame the situation, and I knew this intuitively, so offered Reiki, which is a hands-off, or can be a hands-off practice. And as I was doing the Reiki and I was in tune with what was going on with his knee, I was intuitively, strongly drawn to picking up this stone and using it as part of practice. So to be clear, crystals are typically not a part of my practice. I don't pretend to know enough about them in terms of how to use them. Sometimes I'll have them surrounding me, but I don't use them directly. The urge to pick up this crystal and use it was very strong. So I am very open to the message of spirit, and so picked up the stone and used it in my hand, and I asked spirit to guide me as to how to use this. And as I was holding this crystal above David's knee, explaining the experience in words is difficult because it's kind of beyond words. So I suddenly received a vision of every knee that has ever been healed in the history of time going backwards and time going forwards. So mothers putting band-aids on knees, the air healing open wounds for children that had fallen over. I saw the insides of knees. I saw operations being done on knees with present technology. I saw people trying to fix knees in the past. It was all happening at once. It was quite a, I'll say, shamanic experience. And as this was happening, the stone was, my hand was being guided to move backwards and forwards, and inside David's knee I could see there was stitching taking place. Now, we didn't know at this point what was really going on inside David's knee because it hadn't had an MRI on it, but it turns out there is a tear in there, and that is what I was being guided to work on from the energetic field. So, fascinating little story about the stone. Now, what does that mean for David, or what did that mean for David, was that he went from, I had gone and bought him a walking stick because we didn't know how he was going to get to the airport the next day. And he woke up in the morning and he said to me, "What did you do to my knee?" "You fixed it." Now, I didn't fix it because we've subsequently had an MRI. But what happened was there was a healing that took place that meant he went from not being able to walk to being able to walk. And it wasn't just the night's sleep. I know that in my deepest truth, because nights of sleep had not helped him in the past, and it was a different sensation that he was describing. So using this stone in my practice is going to be part of my Reiki practice for as long as that feels like the right thing to do for me. So I hope this little stone story has inspired you to know that healing goes beyond what we can see in the physical world, that spirit is here to help us, and that when we lay ourselves open to that, that the deepest healings can take place for us in the right circumstances. Hope this has been of interest to you. It's certainly fascinating to me. Thank you so much for joining me. And for more on Reiki, meditation, channeling, all of the things that I'm here to bring, please stay tuned for more. Like, subscribe, comment, and share if that is what you feel inclined to do. I am so thankful for your presence here and for your allowing me to be here for you. Until next time, it's cheerio for now.